broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, good afternoon or good morning, folks. Welcome to the first call of the Fall 2019 online training series for LawHelp Interactive. I'm Mark Lauritsen. I'm here with Bart Earl, Jessica Frank, and Claudia Johnson. And we have about 10 or so trainees, participants in the room. Everybody is muted at the moment. We will unmute folks as needed. And this call is being recorded, so watch what you say if you have any concerns about that. The idea for today is really to just do a quick overview of the course and introduce ourselves to each other and to answer any questions you may have about how this whole thing works. So I think without further ado, let me have my fellow organizers, trainers, say hello, and then we can go around the room and ask you guys to introduce yourselves. So Claudia, do you want to speak up?
Sure. Thank you all for joining I believe this is our third online beginner training for folks that want to learn how to author forms that will be powered up by LawHelp Interactive or alternative that. And very happy to see the level of interest and response. We are not going to cover everything in terms of creating forms. We're going to really give you a hands-on how to create a form, but we won't cover a lot of what we call project management or best practices, how to design forms, how to recruit advisors, how to budget for a project. And also we're not going to cover integrations with court case management systems, e-filing, or legal server or Salesforce integrations and other features of LHI. So if anybody wants to know or hear more about that, you can reach out to me and we can cover some of the other things because we're really limited in trying to get you as much as you can getting authoring a basic form. We have a great faculty and I'm very thankful that we can do this together again. And I'm going to be starting the calls every time, hopefully 10 minutes before the hour, just to make sure everybody has connection, and every recording is going to be posted in a folder, and we're going to walk through where the materials will be and all that later on. But welcome to LHI. I do have a partner. Her name is Miranda Migueli, and some of you may end up or may already be working with her on projects. So Miranda and I will be your points of contact here at Pro Bono Net. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. Yeah, Miranda will be joining some of these other calls, and with Claudia, those guys are running the show at Pro Bono Net in regard to LawHelp Interactive. Hey, Jessica, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I am Jessica Frank. I'm A2J Authors Project Manager. For the first part of this class, I'm sort of going to be quiet, but you are all going to be hanging out with me in October for 3 weeks. We're going to spend the first A2J author training. We'll cover sort of the basics and overview and how do A2J author and Hotdogs work together. And then the last 2 weeks of this course, weeks 7 and 8, will be focused on sort of more details of A2J author, more advanced features, and then talking about the A2J author document assembly tool. So I will be on all the calls if possible, and you can always feel free to reach out to me if you have authoring questions, and I will talk to y'all again in October.
Cool. Hey, Bart, introduce yourself.
Sure. This is Bart Earl. I'm Vice President at Capstone Practice Systems, and along with Mark, I'm involved with the Hotdogs training. You'll hear my voice on some of the videos, and I will also be, along with Mark, helping you review the homework after you do the homework after each video.
Thank you, Bart. And like Bart, this is Mark again. I'm a Massachusetts lawyer, sometime law professor, longtime document automation enthusiast, and have worked with him and Claudia and others for quite a long time on this LawHelp Interactive project. We'll come back more to the course and what's going on and how it works, but let me give you folks a chance to introduce yourselves. And I'm going to go around and just let's see if I can selectively unmute you. Or maybe Claudia, you can help me here. We want to unmute our attendees so they can introduce themselves.
Okay, I'm going to start unmuting all of you. So I guess the first person we see here, unless somebody wants to volunteer, is Dion, but Dion doesn't have sound.
Okay.
So the next one is Diana Ronk.
Hi, this is Diana Ronk. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Perfect. I am a technical writer with the Iowa Judicial Branch. We are currently piloting a divorce petition package through LawHelp Interactive, and we have plans to do a bunch of other forms. And basically, my role will be probably kind of a proofreader backup because we are using an outside developer to develop our interviews.
Welcome. So then after Diana, we see Erma Reyes.
Hello?
Hello, hi Irma. We have, I think we have somebody else from Houston.
Dion. Yes, we have Dion Hunter, Natalia Reyes, and Angeles Calderon.
Oh, nice. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
We work with the Houston Volunteer Lawyers. We're a nonprofit organization here in the Houston area. And we're learning how to use these forms and for our pro se clinics.
Great. Thank you all for joining, and happy to see that the legacy of Michael will continue. So
yes.
excited to support you and reach out if you need any help.
Yes.
Okay, then we have Kate Guerrero.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm calling in from Indiana, and I'm working with the Coalition for Court Access and the Indiana Bar Foundation to help develop our website that just launched last year, indianalegalhelp.org. We have several self-help forms now on the website, but none available on LHI. So we're working towards the usability component of those forms.
Thank you. Nice having you. And then we have Angeles Calderon, who is also with Houston Volunteer. So, Angeles, do you want to say a little more, or you're good?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, welcome. And then we have Melanie Snyder from California.
Hi, I'm Melanie Snyder, and I work with the Judicial Council of California, and I am a supervising attorney working in the Center for Families, Children, and the Courts, and we have a pretty robust program here using LHI, and I'm learning because I want to be able to help my team, and I want to understand, you know, all the ins and outs so that I can be, you know, useful. Thanks.
Thank you. Excited to have you. Then we have Natalia, who's also with Houston. Natalia, are we good, or you want to say anything else more about yourself? Or?
I'm good.
Okay. Welcome. And next we have Robert Salking, who comes from New York courts.
Hello, I'm with the New York State Unified Court System. I was recently added to, as we call it, the Do-It-Yourself Forms project. We have 15 forms to convert from A2J4 to A2J6 and improve them along the way, as well as other forms we want to get online. So I have a year or more worth of work ahead of me with this stuff.
Great. Well, we'll be happy to support you, and I think I speak for Cali too. So welcome to the community. Next, we have Sally Curran, who is also in New York, but with a nonprofit.
Hi, I'm the executive director of the Volunteer Lawyers Project of Onondaga County. We're based in Syracuse, New York, up in central New York, and we're about to launch a consumer law program, and we'll be using forms that have been developed with LawHelp Interactive, but we want to be able to tweak the forms and maybe add some additional forms. So that's why I'm sitting in on this training.
Welcome, Sally, and we have folks here from Houston Volunteer Legal Program, so fellow travelers in the pro bono world, and you're working with Miranda, so I know you're in good hands. Lastly, we have Stephen Seeley, but Stephen, you're muted on locally. Yeah, I can't unmute you, so I don't know. But Stephen is coming from Washington State, from the King County Library.
Okay, and that's everybody, I guess, Claudia. Is anybody on the call that Claudia has not given a chance to say hi?
Well, this is Stephen Seeley. If people are able to hear me, it looks like I'm back.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
It looks like we crossed paths a little there. My name's Stephen Seeley. I am the community outreach attorney at the King County Law Library based in Seattle, Washington. We cover most of the Seattle metro area. We're working on a do-it-yourself form project. We're developing a small do-it-yourself small estate affidavit for pro ses looking to do small probate or non-probate matters. We're looking to just make the forms a little more accessible and easy to use because we currently sell them in hard copy. So yeah, it's a good starting project for us and the packets that we sell here.
Welcome. So I think that's it. Mark, turn it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Claudia. And again, if anyone has not had a chance or newly arrived, please speak up. Let me just give you again the overview of this course. It's a little confusing, and as your trainers will agree, we're doing a lot. This is a compilation of recorded classes to teach Hotdogs and A to J author that we've been running for a couple of years, as Claudia mentioned. So some people are consuming this purely on their own time and just listening to the recorded classes and doing the associated homework and working through the material. Others, like you guys, each fall we do a synchronous group, a cohort of trainees, and those folks get to join us each week for one of these kind of calls, one of these group go-to-meeting conversations, which are really designed to be to orient you to the work, to review the work that's happened in the preceding week, and to give everybody a chance to be more interactive. So what I've got on the screen is a document that we'll be posting pretty soon. That's kind of an overview of the entire process. And what I thought I would do is just quickly show you this and tell you how it's organized. The idea is there are 8 weeks total duration of this course. At the beginning and the end of each week, there's a web conference call like this. And then in between, there's a week's worth of work, which involves watching some pre-recorded videos of classes that cover the material and doing specified homework, then showing up the following week, and we ask for volunteers each week for folks to show their work, to just explain what they did, what issues they ran into, and give people a chance to ask any questions that arose in doing the associated work. So today we're here on call number 1. By now you guys should have done everything in this first row. I think that's all been explained in email and elsewhere. I imagine some folks have had some issues which we'll cover after this overview. But today's call really is just to provide the overview of who we are and what the course is doing and give you a little sense of what you're in for this coming week. Then during this week ahead of us, you're going to be asked to watch the recordings that go with Class 1 and do the homework. And I'll show you where all that is in a second if you haven't already found it. It's going to take about 4 hours of your time to do this, so plan accordingly. And then we'll return exactly a week from today on call number 2 and review what we've done in the meantime, ask questions, and get ready for a second week of content. So this pattern continues for a total of 8 calls, 7 weeks of work in between those calls, and each week has recordings and homework associated with it. This little graphic I put together may be helpful, maybe not, but each week has this kind of structure. We have a call at the beginning and the end. Before the call, there are things to do. There are things we do on the call. There are things you do on your own in between, watching videos and doing hands-on work with the software, Hotdogs and/or A2J. And then there's the call that ends the week, reviews the homework, and starts the next week. Let me see if my colleagues have anything they want to add to this, or anybody has any immediate questions about that kind of structure.
And
go ahead, Claudia.
Yeah, everybody's muted again, so raise your hand or like post a question.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to say something while you're muted, just do a chat. Okay, let me jump to one of the most important things I think you need to know, and you hopefully already do know, is that most of the content for this course is posted here on the LawHelp Interactive Resource Center. And this does require a subscription. It's a free service, but you have to subscribe and have an account. And this top level folder is the key to the kingdom. It's got subfolders for each of the weeks where there's one or two left to be added. It's got some general resources. We'll be adding more. And so this folder here, week one, really is the content for what you'll be doing this coming week. There's a video of the first class. It's broken into two halves. First half, second half here. You can watch it. It's a YouTube video, I believe. And it's me or Bart or both or Jessica providing an overview of the initial content. And then there's this link to materials and homework. And so the homework for week one looks like this. It's also got the recording links in it if you want, but it basically has you go through and do what we did on the class, the recorded class. So you then can yourself experience what we showed in our class and understand what we're explaining. The overall course is described in this syllabus, and this guy needs to be updated. So be aware some of these pieces are kind of works in progress. But this describes what happens in each of these recorded classes. So in the very first set of recordings, we're covering all these topics, how Hotdogs works and what the differences are between the desktop version of Hotdogs and the online experience, etc. And so this is another document you'll be seeing. I believe it's linked in some of the materials I just described. So I apologize for the fact that we've got both a distributed group of trainers, we're all in different places, and kind of a somewhat confusing collection of materials in different places, because we're trying to accommodate both do-it-yourselfers running this training at their own time and place, and folks like you who are here with us in a kind of a synchronized collaborative cohort. So let me stop right there, and I think that's the overview I wanted to give you. And let's just see if folks have questions about how this works, or practical questions about how to get yourself into position, which really is to do this first week's homework. It should be easy to watch the videos, of course. You just click and sit back and pay attention. But to do the actual homework, you will need to have Hotdogs developer installed in your local Windows environment and download some files to get working. We're using a divorce complaint as fodder for this course in part. And work your way through the steps we lay out here in these instructions. Anybody have any questions, comments, or issues you want to get on the table for those of us that are here as trainers? I hope it's all reasonably clear, as confusing as it may be, but I hope it will become clear. I see Stephen has got a question, Claudia. Can we unmute him?
Yeah, I think he was referring to the muting situation before.
Okay.
Let me unmute him.
And Deanna,
Yeah,
and go ahead.
she was asking for the syllabus, and I'm posting it right now. I'm gonna put the link in the chats like right now. So just 1 second on that.
Did I hear another voice? Was that Diana? I don't apparently have the ability to
No.
unmute people. Yeah,
Oh,
so
sorry.
someone.
Okay, let me see if I can give you that access.
It might be a good time too if anyone's had any issues with downloading Hotdogs or registering on the A to J website. If y'all want to raise those now too.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, good. There are written questions.
Okay, so why don't we go by, because I sent you all like a list of 7 or 8 things to do before the class. And I know that a lot of you did them diligently because I kept approving people in different parts of the places where we're keeping the materials. So how about I do want to take notes in case some of you are still working on getting some of these things done for next class. So how about we go and raise hands, and why don't we start with the hot dogs? Did everybody, like the folks that were not able to get their hot dogs license installed by today, would you mind raising your hand? Okay, Roberto. Roberto, I'm gonna unmute you so you can tell us what happened, like to see if we can support you on that.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, and Roberto,
Okay.
we did introductions. Wondering if you want to just share a little bit about your group and what you're looking to do with LHI.
Yeah, we were trying to gather several stakeholders from the Puerto Rico judicial system in order to take advantage of this great opportunity, because we have a lot of most courts, other courts have a lot of documents, but they are not, dynamic. They are more static documents. So they are good, but we want to enhance the dynamics of the documents. So this is just a, you're just coming handy to enhance the performance of these great document resources. So I just wanted to dive in and to look and to see. I wasn't able to, had the time to do all the steps, to follow the steps to get the Hotdogs license. So that's something that we have to perform in order to use it, to take all the better advantage of this program, the great program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and on that, for everybody that's still working on getting the hot dogs license, the best recommendation is to contact Scott Myers. And I had given everybody his direct line.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is to call him and tell him what you need. Most people get only 1 or 2 licenses per state. Because generally you don't need a huge big team development. So figure out how many licenses you want and then ask him for a quote. They provide the licenses as a lot of other services. They charge a monthly fee. It's no longer like you buy a piece of software and you can keep it for 20 years if your computer still works then. It's a subscription. And for nonprofits that are legal, they do have a discount. For courts and government entity, I don't think they do. So it's a matter of doing an internal requisition in your court system.
That's right. Okay.
And then hopefully you can get it set up and installed so that you can catch up with the homework by next week.
No, thank you very much.
Okay, anybody else with Hotdogs issue? Okay, how about signing up to A2J Author 6? Did everybody get set up with that? Okay, I see Diana, you have your hand up. I don't know if it's the...
Claudia?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say that Hotdogs did give the Iowa Judicial Branch a discount.
Oh, that's good to hear. Can
Good
you...
to know.
That's good to hear. Can you email me on a separate note? I would be interested in hearing about that.
I sure will. If I can remember all the details, I will do that, Claudia.
That would be great. That's good news. Everybody good with A2J Author 6? Got signed up, got approved, and all of that? Okay. Okay, I think Sally's still working on A2J6. Sally, feel free to email Jessica on that. She can go make sure you get approved and get access to what you need to put on the computer. And she's here on the call. If anything goes wiggy, you can email her, or I can do an intro or what have you.
My email is just jessica@cali.org, CALI.org.
Okay. And then how about access to the probono.net/LHI? I've been approving people, and I'm happy to approve anyone that's pending, because that's where the materials will be. Okay, it seems like it's good. Then we had also asked you guys to sign up for the Listservs. There's 2 Listservs, and you can pick one or the other or both. The developer Listserv is only for people that are authoring forms, so they could be more technical in nature. It's a very friendly forum where people talk about, I'm trying to do this and this is how I'm doing. Has anybody run into this? How can you help me out? And it becomes a mutually supporting listserv, and it's actually a really nice community because everybody here started from scratch. So never feel like you're gonna be judged for asking a question about how to do something either in Hotdogs or in N2J or anything like that, or anything related about forms. The emails that go to the developer list don't necessarily go to the announcement list. The announcement list is more general, and that has all the emails of things that we think are important and noteworthy to the community, including whenever we push code of things that impact everyone. We put notes there of what we're changing, what we're pushing. We give heads up of when code is going to be pushed. We also put announcements and training opportunities because we do a lot of work doing best practices training and trying to showcase the work of other projects. Last month we had Ayuda Legal de Puerto Rico show the community their approach to the housing forms that they have going, for example. And in September we're going to talk about live chat bots inside LHI interviews, and then also talk about how law schools are using LHI to teach courses. So every month there's a call, and there are other calls by other networks. And so the announcements, everything like that, funding opportunities, things like that go to the announcement list. So you can choose to sign in to the other. Wondering if anybody needs to sign up. The link is on the email list, and I'm going to put the chat in the chat right now. It's under groups. So if you request access to that, and I think that that's the best way to kind of keep up with what we're doing on LHI, what A2J author may be doing with their software, and then what's going on in terms of training opportunities. So I put the link there, and you can request to join, and I'll approve you. And then the last thing we asked you to sign up was the actual LHI website itself, which is where people go and post. We call them contributors, contribute content, and download content. And on that one, you have to be approved. So I know that we've approved a lot of you. I've been sharing everybody's email, so the approval is fast. But if anybody has not gotten access to developer, you're gonna, some of you may not become the person that uploads, so you can create an account now to train, but then you can go in and delete it. If some of you are gonna be working in a team with 5 or 6 of you or 3 of you working as a team, I highly recommend that after the training, you decide which account is going to be the one that's going to be used to upload and manage all of your content, and that you choose an institutional account, meaning an account where the email will always be open to upper management should we ever need to communicate with your program through the site. And then you can delete your training accounts, or you can keep your training accounts just to keep testing and doing things like that, but don't use that one to upload. So is everybody approved, or anyone that I should go and check for approvals at LHI proper?
Sounds like we're good on that front too, Claudia, unless you're seeing any chats. Or I guess the last piece of business from my perspective is getting 2 volunteers who are willing to show their work a week from today. Is anybody, and I should tell you, it gets harder as the course goes on. So there's a premium on being an early volunteer because you get to show things that are pretty easy to show. Can I get 2 people to speak up and offer their services on our call on the 18th? And again, I guess you can raise your hand. I'm not sure how I see people here. Okay, I see Roberto and Sally raising their hands. Can I interpret that as being willing to volunteer? Whoops. Yes?
Yeah, this is Sally. I had raised my hand to an earlier thing. I had not removed it. I don't know if I'm going to have everything ready to go for next week. I'm still trying to get everything set up right, so I'd rather not be on next week.
I see Diana, and Roberto. Are you willing to present if you can get yourself set up with Hotdogs?
No. At this stage, no.
Okay. All right. So we have Diana, who I think has intended to volunteer, and Melanie Snyder. Or Melanie, can we interpret you as that too?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I'm done, Claudia, with my stuff unless people have questions. Anybody else have things they want to ask or say today? We don't need to make this a full hour. We often will, but not today. This is really the kickoff.
Okay. Well, no point in making it longer than it needs to be. But just FYI, our goal is that by the time of each call, all the materials for homework due on your own and for the following week, we're gonna make sure that those are there. So, and hopefully 1 or 2 weeks in advance. But there's no. You can watch the videos as many times as you need, and in the homework, when we get together every week, it's okay to come and say, hey, I really struggle with this. This was really hard. As the course gets harder, it will get hard. And so this is not there's no wrong answer. We're all here in the spirit of learning. So don't feel if you take on the homework and it gets really hard and you get stumped, come and share how you get stumped, because probably somebody else will be stumped in the same way, or maybe somebody came up with a new way of doing it, you know, that may be of interest to other people. So volunteer as much as you can, and don't feel bad if you don't get through and you get stumped. You can come and share, and that hopefully will help others. And in the meantime, Miranda and I are here to back you up, giving you as much support on all the other parts of running an excellent project. And I'm going to put on the list the details of the next call, which is the one. You're all welcome to join those calls as you can. We always record them. And we put the recordings in the first page of probono.net LHI. So all of the calls are recorded. So if you miss a call, you can always come and watch it if it's of interest. So sharing the link in the chat. And Mark, I'm just gonna take the screen to show them where we put the videos.
Sure.
Hold on, move this over. So on the page here, we always put announcements on the recordings here. So the one that we did on housing is here, and every month we update it with the one that we just complete. And on the calendar we put you know, the trainings and things that are coming up. In October, we're gonna be doing one on regulation of document assembly, which may be of interest to some of you. So once we finish this one, I'm going to put the announcement and send that through the lists. And then once in a while, we post things that are also being done by other networks working with self-represented. Like this afternoon, we're gonna be having a call kind of looking at what happened in Washington State with regulation that was proposed, but hopefully soon withdrawn. And that's going to be through the SRLN. So there's a lot going on, and so it's a dynamic community, and I'm really thankful all of you join. And if anything happens between now and next Wednesday, email me, and we'll try to get you together for the next class. Anything else from our teachers or students?
Nothing from me. Welcome, everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun. As hard work as it is, it's going to be a lot of fun for most of you, I hope.
Okay. Thank you all. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks.